The dark web sold anonymity. The law sold trust. In two landmark operations, authorities thought they'd destroy criminal markets. But a strange result followed. By infiltrating and even supplying channels, law enforcement inadvertently engineered an ecosystem of crime. Tonight, we unpack how the Silk Road shutdown and the ANØM operation helped shape a new criminal empire. What happens when the hunters become the architects of the hunt? In the digital underworld, law enforcement launched an operation to expose crime, but instead built a network that criminals trusted more than their own. This is not a movie plot. It's the true story of how the FBI and global agencies accidentally created a criminal empire through two operations, SilkRoad and ANØM. What began as a plan to destroy illegal markets ended up fueling a new generation of digital crime, built and managed from within. In 2011, a young libertarian named Ross Ulbricht built a website he believed would free trade from government control. He called it SilkRoad, a hidden marketplace accessible only through the Tor network. Users could buy anything: drugs, fake IDs, hacking tools, even weapons, paid for with a new currency called Bitcoin. It was fast, anonymous, and unstoppable. For the first time, crime had a digital home, and the FBI had a new kind of war to fight, one they didn't yet understand. In October 2013, the FBI caught its prey. Using undercover agents, server tracing, and simple human error, they tracked Ross Ulbricht to a San Francisco library. When agents arrested him, SilkRoad's empire collapsed overnight. But victory came with questions. How deep had the dark web spread? Within days, mirror sites appeared, and hundreds of users migrated to new platforms. The Silk Road was gone, but the demand it created remained. And that demand needed supply. When Silk Road vanished, thousands of users scattered. They didn't quit, they adapted. Darknet marketplaces multiplied like wildfire. Agora, Alphabay, Dream Market, all promising to be the new Silk Road. Every shutdown only pushed the market deeper underground, making it smarter, more encrypted, and harder to trace. The FBI had cut off one head of the Hydra, only to watch two more grow. The agency needed a new weapon, something invisible, controllable, and undetectable. As marketplaces hid behind Tor, criminals evolved too. They no longer needed dark web browsers. They needed secure phones. Encrypted chat apps like Phantom Secure, EncroChat, and Sky ECC promised total secrecy. Drug lords, traffickers, and hackers adopted them instantly. Communication became untouchable. For investigators, it was like chasing ghosts. But what if they could plant their own ghost, an app that criminals would use willingly, without ever knowing who built it? In 2018, that idea became real. The FBI secretly created ANØM, a fully functional encrypted messaging app distributed through criminal channels. They let smugglers and dealers believe it was safe, because that's what criminals told each other. Hidden in every message was a copy sent straight to law enforcement. For 3 years, agents watched over 27 million messages across 100 countries, mapping deals, shipments, and entire networks. It was the most successful sting in digital history, and it worked too well. As the FBI monitored ANØM, something strange happened. The system they built to observe began to sustain itself. Criminals recruited more users, believing the app was underground gold. Every new deal, every shipment went through the FBI servers. Law enforcement was no longer chasing crime. It was running the platform where crime happened. The lines between control and creation blurred. By gathering intelligence, they'd also created the very system they wanted to destroy. With ANØM, the underworld unified. Small dealers connected with major cartels. Local gangs suddenly operated on global scales. The FBI servers were now the backbone of an international trade network worth billions. Law enforcement had built the most efficient criminal communication grid in history. When they finally pulled the plug in 2021, hundreds were arrested. But beneath the celebration, one truth remained. Without the FBI's secret platform, those networks might never have existed. The success of ANØM forced a haunting question. At what point does surveillance become participation? Critics argued that agencies had facilitated criminal activity by allowing deals to continue just to gather evidence. Lawyers called it digital entrapment. Privacy advocates warned that the next ANØM could target ordinary citizens. The same tools that exposed the underworld also demonstrated how fragile our digital freedom really is. When details of the ANØM operation leaked, it triggered outrage. Civil rights groups demanded accountability, and allies questioned whether the FBI had gone too far. News outlets revealed how the agency had even considered using the same technique against political dissidents in unstable regions. Inside the Bureau, some agents called it genius. Others called it a monster they could no longer control. Either way, Pandora's box was open. The SilkRoad taught law enforcement that shutting down markets doesn't kill them, it evolves them. ANØM taught that even total surveillance can't stop crime. It can only redirect it. Experts now call this the paradox of enforcement. The harder you push, the smarter the system gets. As governments race to control encryption and digital anonymity, one truth is clear. Every time they close a door, the internet builds another. The story of SilkRoad and ANØM isn't about heroes or villains. It's about systems. One built from idealism, the other from control. Both changed the world of crime forever. In trying to end the digital underworld, the FBI accidentally built its infrastructure. So next time you hear about a successful operation, ask yourself, did they stop the network or did they just make it smarter? Because sometimes, to catch the criminal, you have to build the empire first. If this story changed the way you see justice and technology, hit like and subscribe. Share this video to start the conversation. Should the same agencies that enforce law be allowed to build its markets? Follow Reality Decoded for more investigations into the hidden systems shaping our world.